RingVille episode Airica Demia. Hey everyone, how's it going? My name is Kevin Herrera Sanchez, KHS, and today I have the pleasure of sitting down with somebody who you have seen wrestle for CZW, Pro Wrestling Turbo, NWA, and Ring of Honor. I'm here with Airica Demia. How's it going?
Pretty good. Chilling.
Chilling?
In Philly for the first time. Very exciting.
Right.
Yes.
First time in Philly. Is this your first WrestleMania week experience?
Yes, it is. Last year I was kind of hoping to get to go to some shows, but I wasn't officially wrestling yet, so it was kind of out of the question a little bit because gas money.
Yeah, because this is only your second year as a professional wrestler, right?
Yep, I am. My second year officially started in January.
And I just want to say, I would have never been able to say or notice that this is your second year. You're incredible already.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
Oh,
that means a lot.
Of course. You came from North Carolina, right? How was the drive over?
Stressful.
Stressful?
Yes. My dad usually drives, and I'm kind of emotional support at that point. I don't want to call him a chauffeur because I feel like that's mean. Yeah. But if the shoe fits, I guess.
You're a you're a passenger princess.
We'll go with that.
Go with?
Sure.
There you go. Okay, so you're a big Kenny Omega fan, right?
Absolutely. He's my favorite. I love Kenny Omega.
How do you feel when his entrance, when they just scream out from North Carolina?
Oh, I always say it with it. Even if I'm just watching the TV, I'm just like, let's go. I don't like living in North Carolina.
Okay.
But that's where I live, so I kind of just have to embrace it.
What would be your dream living place?
I don't really know. I guess technically, so I want to live in a cottage in the woods. I know that's really random. So I guess Europe would be ideal.
Yeah. You want to go off the grid?
Kinda. So I was a huge fan of Snow White when I was little. So that kind of the Seven Dwarfs cottage kind of vibe. That's
That's
probably not what anybody was expecting me to say, but
I was anticipating an LA, New York, major city have the forest,
the forest. I want to live in a cottage in the forest.
There you go. So how is traveling and being on the road? Does that affect you in any way?
My hips. It's not exactly ideal for comfort, but neither is riding in a plane for a few hours. Right. Personally, I think it's fun because it's usually me and my dad. So I'm not alone. We kind of just listen to music or have deep psychological conversations with each other. I mean, I don't hate traveling. It's my seats just aren't very comfortable.
We have to get you better seats there.
I agree. We need to get some cushions.
So you spoke about your dad, right? Your dad is also a wrestler.
Yes.
What's it like having a wrestling dad?
I don't want to say it's crazy because I'm so used to it. I grew up like that.
Yeah.
But I would say I'm very fortunate to have a mentor because a lot of my friends struggle because they don't have anybody else in their lives other than a trainer that they see every day that helps them to grow and teaches them parts of the business that a coach can't teach you.
Right.
So I feel like I got I feel like the word lucky isn't the right word, but fortunate. Yeah. We'll go with that one. That's a good word.
So were there ever times you were telling stories in school as a kid and everybody would look at you your dad does what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It happened a lot. When I was in 8th grade, I started talking about wrestling a little bit with one of my friends, and I told them that I wanted to start wrestling, and she looked at me and she said, "You're not gonna last a week," and I was like, "Some friend of yours, jeez."
Right. So one of the things that instantly stood out about you was how well you know who you are and your presentation, right? What was the process like of bringing it all together?
So it's taken a while because I've been working with this character since I was 14 and I'm 19 now. So I told you earlier, I couldn't look my trainer in the eye when I first met him. I'd say I've come a long way since then. And a lot of people that I used to hang out with would say anime is cringy, and the way that I act, like, I grew up on anime, so I kind of, a lot of things that I base my entire personality off of is anime. Yeah. So I kind of, like, in social situations, I'm so used to toning everything down that it's, like, it's kind of hard for me to bring it out, but I'm definitely getting better about it.
Right. Yeah, because, like, in wrestling, it's the exact opposite.
Exactly.
Right? You have to be yourself times 10.
Exactly. It's a little hard sometimes, especially growing up being bullied. Like, it happens, but like it sucks.
No.
It just makes it a little bit harder to figure out how to be yourself in front of, especially like a large audience, especially in front of an audience like Ring of Honor. There was a lot of people there. It was really scary. I also have stage fright, so that doesn't help much.
Oh. Like, do you do that, like, thing where it's, like, imagining everyone in their underwear or something like that to, like, ease the nerves?
I feel like if I do that, I'll start laughing. So I feel like that's not the best thing. I went to a seminar a while ago, and their piece of advice was imagine the audience as one entity rather than a bunch. Like, they're all one person watching you. And I'm like, that helps a little bit. So I've just been trying to keep that in mind.
So, you brought up you wrestled for Ring of Honor, right? Biggest crowd you've ever worked in front of?
Yes, I would say so.
So, okay, talk to me. Let's go before you even get there, right? Who calls you? Who messaged you? Like, hey, are you available to do this date?
So I got an email from Captain Sean Dean.
Shout out Sean Dean.
Yeah. He sent me the email. And he was like, hey, are you available for this booking? He sent me a list of, like, requirements and stuff, like what I need to say, the blood work I needed to get done. And then a few different, like, rules of what I can and can't do or, like, where and all of that. And there was a bunch of other stuff sent in a separate email, like, the day before. But I got it on a Sunday, and I was at a Pro Wrestling Turbo show.
Okay.
And I was walking with one of the kids from my wrestling school, and I look at my phone, and I literally shrieked. I was like, oh my God, and she was like, are you okay? And I was like, and I showed her the email. She was like, you should go show your dad. And I ran as fast as I could. I was crying. I was so excited, because I've been watching AEW since I was 14. So it was a very...
It has been around for 5 years.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy to say. Yeah. I was so excited. I was so happy. And one of my best friends did Dark in her 15th match. Oh, wow. So she, like, kind of helped me, like, walk through everything. Yeah. She was very helpful.
Because you had a one-on-one match with Nyla Rose, who is incredible.
Yes, she is.
She is amazing. Like, she's one of the funniest people as well. Like, her Twitter is just...
I love her Twitter posts.
Yeah. What was it like, working with her?
It was a dream. It's how anyone would hope any interaction with a superstar would go. Like, we were just talking. So I was taking promo pictures with Speedy, and she came up and she was just looking at me, and he was like, do you need to pass? Like, I could stop taking pictures for a minute. She was like, nah, I was just thinking about how we should be in a tag team because of the anime gear. And I was like, that's so cool. Yeah, that is really cool. that was before I found out I had a match with her. And then later I found out I had it. John Cruz came up to me and was like, hey, I'm sorry for making you change in and out of your gear. Can you get changed back? You have a match before AEW. And I went, I got so excited. I was so excited, and I was like, no, it's fine. Thank you so much. And then I went and got changed. I was trying not to sob. I messaged my dad immediately in all caps. It did not make sense because I was so excited and I was walking. I think I said I go ya match instead of I got a match. I was so excited. I forgot how to type.
Yeah.
But she was so funny and just trying to keep me calm the whole time. And I told her that I was trying so hard not to fangirl over literally everybody in the locker room. She was like, it's okay, you can fangirl a little bit. You can talk to me about it. It's cool.
Okay, so who were you fangirling about?
Almost everybody, honestly.
I get that.
Like, the first person I saw when I was standing in the group with the rest of the people that were brought in was Chris Jericho. And he's one of my dad's favorite wrestlers, so obviously I'm a big fan too.
Right.
I look over to my right, and he was just there, and I was like...
That's one of those where you double check, like, am I seeing the right person?
I literally looked over, and I was like, oh my God, that's Chris Jericho. And I was just like... And it was just... Will Ospreay too. I'm a huge Will Ospreay fan.
How can you not be?
Exactly my point. Orange Cassidy and Adam Copeland. There was just so many people that I was just like, I see y'all on TV.
Right.
That's so crazy. I didn't have a bad experience with one person backstage either. It was amazing. It was a dream. I was so happy.
So you spoke about anime a few times, right? Like, and your whole persona, like you said, is based around anime. One of the things that also stood out was you have your very own theme song.
Yes, I do.
And it's very anime-esque.
Yes.
Right? How did that come together?
That was a while ago, so I'm trying to remember. It's I can't remember. I think my dad reached out or he reached out to us. Because there was a song that I was wanting to use. It's called Just Awake by Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. I used it for my YouTube show when I was 14. And I was going to use it as an entrance song, but I heard it so much, like, watching those videos.
Yeah.
I got so tired of it, and my dad was like, let's get you a custom one.
Nice.
Which was really cool. And I sent voice messages to the guy and pretty much told him, I sent him a few songs. I was like, I kind of want it based on this, and I want a guitar solo because I love guitar solos. I don't know why, but I do. And he just kind of made it happen. And I told him that I wanted some English lyrics, some Japanese lyrics. So he reached out to Rina Hime, I think is how you say it. I'm hoping that's right. I would feel so bad if I butchered her name. She was a sweetheart, too. Right. I reached out to her. I was like, thank you so much for doing this. She was like, yeah, of course. So I didn't get to interact with her in person at all.
Okay.
But she was super sweet over messages and stuff. So it was...
Yeah, because
really cool.
it's John Kernan who produced this song, right? And he's made songs for, like, Lindsay Dorado, Marina Shafir, sorry. The names,
I'm not
you know?
judging.
And also even Mercedes Martinez. And you also have a song by the same guy.
Right.
It's like...
It's pretty wild to think about, honestly. Like, I've had it for so long, but still thinking about the fact that it's the same artist as so many, like, bigger names. Yeah. It's like... That's crazy.
Yeah. So, I was watching another interview of yours to, like, you know, to do some research, right? Homework for sure. And you were talking about how you were a big fan of NXT.
Yes.
Like Black and Gold era NXT.
Yes, when it first like started. I was a big Bayley fan.
Oh,
freaking love. I still love Bayley.
Yeah.
Like, I remember getting her I'm a Hugger t-shirt for Christmas one year, and I literally was sobbing. I was so happy because I had been begging for it for so long, and then my parents also got me 3 of her, like, slap bracelets.
Oh, nice.
That was my favorite Christmas gift that year.
Yeah, because I think during that time, just the main roster wasn't the best, right? And
I don't really remember it.
that's fair.
Because that's when I was first starting to, like, this is when I first was introduced to TV wrestling in general.
Oh, okay.
Because when I was younger, all I knew was the promotion that my dad was in, which was like a little, very, very, very small indie fed in Lincolnton, North Carolina. I didn't know that other wrestling existed.
Oh, okay.
I just knew that they were wrestlers, and my dad was a wrestler, and that I thought it was really cool. And then they started watching, like, the NXT takeovers and stuff, and he would invite friends over, and I'm like, what's this? So I just started watching it with them.
Whoa,
And
production level.
right? I was like, it's on TV? Yeah.
So with wrestlers like Roxanne Perez, Hook, and Nick Wayne, like, more and more younger people are, like, breaking out, and including yourself, performing at a super high level, right? Like, what do you think change in the wrestling world that is allowing younger and younger people to become stars?
I think that some of the older people in wrestling kind of, like, what they went through, I think a lot of them were trying to prevent that from happening to younger talent, so it's easier for younger talent to get into the business. That's just a theory. I have no clue, to be completely honest. But I can imagine, because of what I heard went on especially in the indies in the early 2000s, around the time I was born, it was not kid safe. It wasn't safe for people even, like, a little bit younger than me. Like, when I first started, I would have not survived, because people were just terrible, from what I've heard. Like, not everybody, but a lot of people, I don't think I could have handled it, and I don't think a lot of people my age could have handled it. Because I know it's difficult to deal with a lot of stuff now. I can't even imagine how it was, but I assume a lot of veterans were like, hey, we're going to make this better. We're going to make this easier for the new people coming in, because we know how much we struggled. We want to make it better.
No, for sure. And that's, like, it changed for the better. It's a beautiful thing that more people can do it now.
Yes.
So what are some of your favorite Kenny Omega matches?
Kenny Omega versus Will Ospreay, obviously.
Which one?
Both of them.
Both,
yeah. So for the New Japan one, that's the only match I watched on the entire New Japan show, because I was so tired. I was literally like this watching it. I was like, because it was so late, because we were like, we're watching this while it's being aired.
Like, no spoilers,
ifs, ands, or buts.
Yeah.
So that's the only match I was able to stay awake during. I felt so bad, because I was looking forward to the rest of the show. And I posted something on my story saying, I'm drinking coffee so I can watch this show. And then my dad posted something on his story of me sleeping during the show. And his best friend messaged him, and he's like, I saw these stories back to back, and I cannot stop laughing. And I was like, that's actually hilarious.
That is funny. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what are some of your wrestling goals?
Well, one of them was to get on AEW/Ring of Honor. So
check right there.
That 3 big states that I wanted to wrestle in was New York, Texas, and LA. And I've marked one of those off. I just have 2. And hopefully I will be wrestling in New York soon. I really want to go to Texas too. Obviously I want to go to Japan. Like, I'm a fan of a lot of New Japan wrestlers. Obviously I wanted to go to Japan. Also, like, I'm an anime nerd, so it kind of just...
That's your world right there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's just, I would love to go to Japan. It's a dream. I kind of just want to wrestle all over the world. Yeah. And hopefully one day get a contract somewhere. Whether it's in WWE, AEW, TNA, wherever, honestly.
Right. Where did your love for anime start?
When I was 5.
5.
The first anime I ever watched, I think it was 5, right? Yeah.
Dad points.
Dad's like, yes, I can confirm. So the first anime I ever watched was Inuyasha. It's an old one. I have a tattoo of the Kagome's arrow shooting through the sacred jewel on my back. It happens in I think is this the second episode? You look ashamed of me. I don't appreciate it. Either that or you're tired. I can't tell. I'm blind. I can't see your face. I'm going to take a guess and say it's both. Anyways, that's the first anime I ever watched. And I remember being terrified of the villain in the first episode.
Yeah.
I couldn't, like, leave my parents' room. I was so scared. My mom was like, will you just take your bath already? Please. Please. It was so funny. But I was so scared. But yeah, that's pretty much when it started.
Well, thank you very much for sitting down and talking with me. It was a pleasure.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. Would you want to plug anything? Your socials or?
I don't know all my social media names offhand.
Yeah.
So I don't like to sound braggadocious when I say this. If you Google my name, Airica Demia is right there. That's how you spell it. If you Google it, most of my stuff will pop up. There's some fake t-shirt sites though. Don't click on those. The only place I have t-shirts is Pro Wrestling Tees.
And also to support that, I did Google her name and everything did pop up. So, well, thank you very much. All right. See y'all next time.